Hey guys, what's up? It's Chris. Thanks for tuning in to another Motorcycle Money Flip. Stay tuned today to hear how I took a motorcycle that looked kind of like the Cowboys colors and made $1,000 cash. Stay tuned. Hey guys, thanks for staying tuned to hear about this great flip on this cowboy colored Vstar 650. Now y'all know I love my Cowboys, so whenever I found this bike online, I had to go check it out. Now honestly, it probably wasn't the deal that I was looking for, but I was able to negotiate into the deal that I needed it to be. So found this guy, like I said, he had this nice Vstar 650 that's made by Yamaha, listed for sale. It had low mileage on it. It was only 15,000 miles, and of course it was this beautiful cowboy colored bike. It was the blue over the silver, nice trim package on it. It had the nice textured seat. Like I said, it was a basic package. It just happens to be a basic package that looks a lot like them Dallas Cowboys. So whenever I got out there, immediately I fell in love with the bike. I thought it looked great. I mean, really, there was nothing wrong with the bike. This guy and his wife had it, been riding it for a while. I guess lost interest, and it was sitting in the garage. I mean, the whole time that I'm trying to negotiate with this guy, his wife's over in his ear like, yeah, you better sell the bike. Oh, you need to sell the bike. So I'm taking this opportunity to figure it out. Like, okay, now I know he's negotiable because he needs it to go. She wants him to let it go. So I get to talking to this guy. We keep going kind of back and forth. It wouldn't really start when I first got there, really because he just let it sit. So brought out some stuff like I always do. That's what this episode is mainly about, is whenever you go to show to look at a bike, there's a few things that you ought to take with you to make sure that you're checking something out to the fullest of your ability to make sure that you're not getting a lemon or something of that nature. When someone just says, oh, hey, it just needs a new battery, don't just take their word for it, because I mean, you may get home, put a new battery on it, turn it on, and the damn thing blow up. So what I always do is I keep a battery on the spare, and I have a couple jumper cables hooked up to it. Before that, I actually had a little jump box that I bought from Walmart for like 30 bucks. I used to take that with me. But the main thing is take something that can supply power to the bike. That way you can hear it spin over, make sure that the motor's spinning freely and things like that, and the motor's not locked up. Another thing I always take with me is a can of carburetor cleaner or engine starting fluid, because usually on most bikes, being able to get the air breather off only takes a few things. Usually it's an Allen wrench or possibly a adjustable wrench or something that you need to take with you. So I always keep a pack of Allen wrenches with me whenever I go to look at a motorcycle, as well as an adjustable wrench and even a screwdriver just to make sure. But that way you can go ahead and you can pull off that carburetor cover as far as where the air breather is at, and then like I said, you got power. Those two things can tell you a lot about that bike. Now what you do is, first you hook the battery up, try to give it a start, see what happens, see if it's spinning over. If it starts spinning over but it doesn't feel like it's going to start, go ahead and pull the choke out, just like if you were trying to start it, if you're trying to ride off on it. Try to start it again, see if nothing's happening. If nothing's still happening, grab that throttle and hit it like 10, 15 times, especially if it's a bike that's been sitting. Make sure that you're getting some fuel down to that carburetor so that way it can start. Once you get to that point and it's spinning over, but yet it's still not starting, that's when you want to pull that carburetor cover off. Now, if these people will let you do this while you're looking at it, that's a good sign, because that means that they really think that there's nothing wrong with the bike, and you're just taking the opportunity to get it started to prove their point. So get that cover off, spray a little starter fluid in there, a little bit. Don't get crazy with the carburetor or the starter fluid. You're not there to blow the bike up. You're just there to see if it will start. So I go ahead, like I said, spray a little carburetor fluid in there. Usually by then you hit that starter, it spins over, and it'll only run for a few seconds, but then you know that it's the carburetor that probably needs to be cleaned. 9 out of 10 times if a bike's been sitting, it's the carburetor that needs to be cleaned. Now, come back to another episode and I'll show you a quick fix that most bikes will work on. But today we're just talking about things that you need to do as far as looking at when you go to look at a bike. Like I said, bring something to supply power. Bring something like carburetor fluid or starter fluid, so that way you can add an agent to allow it to start up for a short period of time, if nothing else. And then, like I said, as always, check out the tires. Tires can be a big expense. Make sure the tires are in good condition. And then, like I said, just kind of look the bike over. Make sure there's no major dents. Make sure it's not been wrecked. Like I said, even if it's been in a little fender bender, usually that's okay. You can usually fix that with changing some grips out and things of that nature, maybe a few foot pegs. But make sure the the tank's not dented up. For me, that's always a no, because usually if the tank's all dented up, that's a really big expense. I mean, just a motorcycle tank alone can cost you $400, $500, $700 depending on the motorcycle. So I always look for a good clean tank because fenders are easy to replace if there's some damage to those. I look for a good seat if at all possible. If not, that's not a deal breaker with me because you can get some aftermarket seats pretty good, but I definitely want to make sure that the engine's not locked up and that it starts, and then I can at least get some fire to it. So that way I know there's nothing wrong with the ignition system. So if you go through these steps whenever you're checking out a bike, one, you're going to make sure you get a bike that you can work on and you know what you're getting into. Two, you make sure you don't get into something that's a lemon that potentially is a locked up motor, but they're telling you it just needs a battery. So at the end of the day, I was able to talk the guy down to $1,200 cash. I was able to pick the bike up. Only had it for a couple weeks because, like I said, it didn't need a whole lot. We got the carburetor cleaned up on it. Really, the bike was beautiful in its own, and it's cowboy times, baby. So that bike, as soon as people started seeing it, went ahead and put a star on it just to go ahead and complete that cowboy theme on the motorcycle. But it immediately sold. Like I said, I sold it for $2,400 cash real fast, made $1,200 cash in my pocket, and that was a great story, my friend. Someone got rid of it. Well, if nothing else, his wife got rid of the motorcycle that they didn't want anymore. This guy got a cool cowboy-themed motorcycle that he was looking for, and I got to put $1,200 in cash in my pocket. Check out this bike. Hey guys, it's Chris. I hope you enjoyed watching my video and seeing more money for motorcycles. Be sure to subscribe below and see more videos like this.